Bam. It is done. So we're here with Khorne.
Oh,
We have Scarbrand, the Exiled. Who better to talk about Khorne than Scarbrand? Its third best lord on their roster. Hi, Scarbrand.
hello, everybody.
So, I know I just talked to you about this before I hit record, but for everyone else's sake, in case this is the first guide they click on, this is a faction guide for multiplayer, how to build an army and make it effective. Two parts. First part, we'll go through and just talk about every single unit on the roster briefly and be like, okay, Marauders of Khorne are your basic cheap chaff frontline, while Marauders with dual weapons pack a bit more punch, something like that. In the second part, we'll ask Scarbrand more of specifically what types of builds he would take in multiplayer right now that could help you get some wins on ladder on the current patch. All right, okay. Well, take it away whenever you're ready with the lords.
All right. So for the lords, they're just like there's a lot of them. You can probably tell. There's two you never usually bring because they suck. They suck so bad for their price that you just don't know what they're supposed to be good at, and you're just taking the cheaper and better lords. In this case, what I'm talking about is the Chaos Lord of Khorne. The Chaos Lord of Khorne doesn't have anything much to offer. At least, well, you have better lords right now, especially Herald and Skulltaker being just better options, being awesome buffers. And the Chaos Lord is supposed to be a great buffer, but the Paragon of Carnage is just totally worthless because it charges up in a 35-meter area, which is kind of meh. And then the only ability that makes him just good is the Fight or Die. While his stats compared to Herald of Khorne is just meh. Not great of a difference. Skulltaker is great in terms of buffing units, and his debuff, Bloody Onslaught, is also great when you want to take on cav fights. It will make a big difference. Minus 24 melee defense and minus 30 armor can make a big difference if you're taking, for example, Chaos Knights or Skull Crushers. In certain situations, even Blood Beasts can make a good use out of that. Oh, well, the abilities. Oh shit, now I'm stuck. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
It's okay.
Uh, yeah, what do you want to talk about? Yep. Another very useless sword that you should probably never take. Demon Prince of Khorne. There's only 3 abilities. His stats are very trash. Like, if you would compare him to another lord that is similar to him, which is the Exalted Bloodthirster, those stats are so different and, like, holy shit. You can tell that the Exalted Bloodthirster is, like, very good. While the Demon Prince is just, what am I supposed to do? That's the Demon Prince like right now. What am I supposed to do? I'm just worse in every single aspect than a lord that is slightly more expensive than me.
Yeah, 400 gold naked, and you get a lot of stats for the Exalted Bloodthirster.
Yep.
Damn.
And the abilities are nearly the same. It's just that the Demon Prince has Paragon of Carnage and Exalted Bloodthirster has way more other stuff. Explosion. That is sometimes good, but I don't like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
The breath attack, also pretty medium. I would not say it's very decent. And Breath of Khorne is just like, you never take it because you don't expect it to do that much damage. I haven't put it much into a test because usually what you do with Exalted Bloodthirster for in this instance, you just take the Bloodthirst and Deathbringer and then a ultimate Lord Sniper. Very good Lord Sniper. Probably the best Lord Sniper in this roster, especially with the combination of Karnag when you can just stun lock your enemies, and then the Exalted Bloodthirster does a double attack where he takes like half of your HP with the Deathbringer, and boom, your lord is gone. Like that. Now the most complicated lord, the Bloodspeaker. The Bloodspeaker has definitely some great uses, especially a big ass heavy infantry blob. For example, you can do a blob of a Slaughter Guard, and then you put in the Wrathmongers, either the normal ones or you can put in the RORs. Depends how you play. Where you could use this is Nurgle, Vampire Count, etc. What makes Bloodspeaker so good is the Pilgrimage of Skulls. and the Blood Sacrifice, which is very unique since you have a first healing ability that you can use on any unit in your freaking roster, which I mean Khorne never had. So, for example, if we would take Knights of the Brazen Throne, boom, a high damage dealing unit that doesn't have that much HP and dies fast. Boom, you can put it at Blood Sacrifice and it heals up. The problem with the Blood Sacrifice on Bloodspeaker is you should be aware if you're taking your Lord on a Chaos Steed or on a foot, it does a lot of damage. So it's better to take it only if you have the Chaos Shrine, or if you're taking him on a steed, use it just once, so your Lord doesn't get killed, or in certain cases, it would get a low HP and then he could get Spirit Leeched, which is a very bad thing for it to happen. You don't want the leadership debuffs to happen. Gruesome Display is okay. I like it into blobs, but I don't take it as often. I'll take it only if I would have some spare change. Vault Abandon, I found that this ability is very great on demonic units, since demonic units don't suffer from leadership penalties, and then making them cannot die is sort of a like making them unbreakable for a certain amount of time, and then the 40 melee attack is like super crazy on those demonic units. I think it's the best in the combination of Fleshhounds maybe, or Heralds of Fury, which is the Aurora Blood Crusher, or other demonic units you could say. It's not good with use of single entities, or at least I haven't found it good with that. I don't know. You can probably try by yourself. About the Murderous Exhortations, I found it recently good into Skaven, bringing in a Leadership Bomb with Bloodspeaker, especially with the Gruesome Display. With that, you can make a Leadership buff of 12 Leadership, of -12, and then you could put in like Scar Bloodwrath for additional -8 Leadership. Also a very great combination. Now for the better lords, for the like generalist lords. Herald and Valkia. Valkia probably being the most favored one since she's cheap, she fights well, and she survives for a long time if needed because of her freaking demon shield and how small she is. But since we are talking about Valkia, don't think of her as a very great duelist. For example, there have been some cases where I thought, okay, here you go. There's a Luthor Hawken on a freaking Wyvern, or how's it called, that Death Shrieker, and has regen. So you would think, Valkia has flaming attacks and bonus against large. Isn't she gonna be Luthor Hawken? Nah, man. Luthor Hawken just shreds Valkia. And every other single duelist Dragon Lord, for example, just solos her. That's the problem with the Valkia. I think Valkia is a great harassment lord, not a great duelist lord or a destruction lord. Into ogres, you could probably take her, since ogres don't have anything to take her out. Unless they would take some kind of a melee infantry specialist lord. But then that's very unlikely. As for the Herald, Herald is a amazing lord types, amazing generous lord. Fights well in melee. You usually take him on a blood form because of his crazy buffs that that you can combine with his abilities that has on his skull. Yeah, his abilities. Holy moly! Rebel and Slayer with the combination of total of endless bloodletting is great. 16 melee attack plus 12 leadership in a 35 meter area is crazy. It's constant. It's not like the Paragon of Carnage when it's supposed to charge up. You don't need to charge it up, it's just constant and it's super good. And then with the Locus of Wrath, plus 40 melee attack is bloody crazy. Especially on a 55 meter area, you can make any unit that is nearby just 100% hit. And hit you like a truck. I would say that this is very good combination with a high melee attack unit, or a low melee attack unit.
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
I need to hop in here. What the fuck? I just checked. The Paragon of Carnage is 150 gold. It's the same cost as the Revel and Slaughter. It has to charge up to give you +8 melee attack to anybody within 35 meters, while Revel and Slaughter constantly gives you 8 melee attack in the range of 35 meters, +8 leadership. Why is this Why is Paragon of Carnage so shit?
I don't know. It just sucks so bad. I don't know why it's so bad. I don't know. I don't know why it has a charge up when you have freaking Herald of Khorne that can give you the buff The nearly same but better buff for infinite amount of time. It's crazy. I
Okay.
know.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Tormentor Sword is a game changer. Being able to have something like Scarbrand's Rampage, but from Wish, it's it's just way weaker. But being able to stop a unit that just, took a charge into your corn guards because they were moving, so people usually just psycho charge because they see some free charges. With a Tormentor Sword, you can stop it now. Especially in the case of freaking Dark Elves, where Dark Elves love to take Scourge Runners into you and freely charge your Marauders of Khorne. Boom! Now when there's Herald of Khorne, you say, nah, you're gonna stop there and you're gonna be fighting my Marauders. And you're gonna die. I hope.
One can hope.
Yeah, one can hope. That matchup is still very cursed. Remaining Lords is now Arbal and Scarbrand.
Ye-
Let's talk about Arbal. Arbal is great. I don't like him, but he's great. I think with the recent cost increase, it's kind of like, why would you do that? But yeah. Eye of Khorne is very great into missile heavy armies. I would say it's great into Vampire Pirates, Empire, and possibly Skaven. But then into Skaven, you take the Blood Speaker because of its leadership penalties. Being capable of turning any unit that is below 20% HP into a spawn is crazy good. It disrupts the backline very easily. And with the explosion, holy moly. First Lord with an actually great explosion is great. Having a Lord that explodes and does very good damage is great for you to charge up your army abilities, especially the Sword of Khorne that you so much first for, because holy, that's a great ability.
Good.
And that's kind of it. You don't take the buffs. The buffs are sort of unnecessary. First for challenge seems great, but then you're paying from 150 for that. You want your lord to be as cheap as possible. You don't want him to be extreme melee duelist lord. I don't think that Arbal is supposed to be a great duelist. He's overall just great infantry killer, and with the Eye of Khorne, just great backline destroyer. Also, it's your first lord that has a vanguard, which is great because now you can do full vanguard armies with your Khorne guards and flesh hounds and stuff,
Hmm.
which can be great in certain matchups. And yep, I think that's all about the lords.
What about Scarbrand?
Scarbrand. I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry for forgetting myself. Scarbrand is a weird lord. I do like him. His rage embodied makes him unique and very great in certain situations. But his abilities are kinda meh. The Slaughter and Carnage charge is so long, and also there's like you're not 100% sure you're gonna be getting 300 kills on Scarbrand to get that double weapon strength. To make him like more interesting and more worth is like giving him passive regen. I would love that. And it would make Scarbrand like very awesome pick. Now you just take him only because of the rage embodied, and then he can pull out any unit into your own death trap. The breath attack is the best breath attack on your roster. There's nothing that has better breath attack, and there's like only 2 or 1 unit that have breath attack. And the rest of his abilities are kind of shit, kind of trash. Wrathful Reaper is just bad. The Rampage is not worth it. And Fueled by Rage is great, but you won't make a great use out of it. I mean, you're gonna need that 100 gold elsewhere. Also, look out, Scarbrand struggles to hit foot characters for unknown reasons. Foot characters have broken hitboxes, so Scarbrand just misses for no reason, and I hate it.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
pretty
it
hard
so
to hit
much.
foot characters with them.
Yep. That should be it about the lords now,
It's
if
true.
I'm correct.
On to heroes.
Heroes. Ooh, heroes. These days, what do you normally take? is usually Karanag, Scarblood Ref, and that's kind of it. You don't take any other heroes these days. Exalted Hero of Khorne is very meh. I don't see him what he's supposed to do. I guess he's a great duelist with his potion of toughness that heals him up. But then you can just take any of your lords that isn't Demon Prince or Chaos Lord of Khorne, and boom, you have a great duelist. Or a Blood Speaker. Blood Speaker also is a trash duelist. So you never take him. Exalted Hero is just trash. You never take him. Goldest of Khorne is great. He's not bad, but he's not like super meta where you should when you're supposed to take him into every single fight. Why is he good? He's kind of tanky for how small he is. He's infantry size with 75 armor and silver shields. So that means when you're taking him into missile-based armies, he's just gonna take the damage and yep, he's just gonna be standing there. With the Gate of Khorne, also he can break the backline with ease, summoning in Bloodletters, and the Bloodletters will kill anything that's in there, since melee infantry bonus is very crazy good on them. Blood Reaper. I've never found a use for him, even after the patch where he got crazy good heal and kind of good melee attack buff. But that still doesn't make him good. I mean, okay, it makes him better duelist, but that's kind of it. He still struggles, even in dueling, because there are lords that have higher mass and can run from them. It's like, no joke. And even with Bloodthrone, they are at least useful, but then you're paying 1700 for a lord that has awesome heal and also damage buff. I mean, yeah, he's just not worth it. He never really was. I guess you could only take him because of the Locus of Abjuration, where you can do some crazy, ugly-ass blob, and then, like, make your units immune to spells. And then boom. No spell kiting. But then, you're kind of paying for it as well. 1850 is kind of a lot. Now about the metal heroes. Karanag being the most painful one to be dealing with. You usually take him with just Prey of the Blood God, which is a free net. And then you take him with the Brass Collar for the Silence, which is 55 meter area, which is also kind of crazy. People hate on it so much. Oh man. I love it when they hate it. The Prey of the Blood God is very great with combination of a high damage dueling lords. Especially Exalted Bloodthirster. This is my favorite combo that I do into most of my matches. Where I take Exalted Bloodthirster with Bloodthirster Deathbringer and then Karanag with a simple net. Exalted Bloodthirster just shreds any lord that is supposed to die fast into melee based lords. It's crazy. I love him so much. You never take the Talon or the Skull Throne. It's kind of useless. I don't see why would you need weapon string buffs when units are routing. That's super bad. I would make it when units die in an area nearby of him. He would be gaining those buffs. But right now it's just worthless. And Karanag's Howl is ability that I take only if I have spare gold. And then the last heroes, Silent Elfengrim and Scarblood Rev. Scarblood Rev is great at dealing with infantry-sized characters. I would say that he's best hero to take into Skaven right now, since you mostly expect a foot character, and if it's not a foot character, it's usually a bell dude, and when it's a bell dude, then you just take a Scarbrand, and Scarbrand kind of shreds it. While the Scarblood Rev just deals with anything that's on foot and breaks the line with his leadership debuff, which then you can combine with a Blood Speaker, which is awesome. Like minus 12 leadership, minus 20 leadership, sorry, is very awesome. That's kind of it. Scaramore Butchers are okay, but I don't like paying 150 for just Sundering Armor for units that aren't around him. I would say it's great combo with Forsaken or with the Fleshhounds, I guess, or Blood Beast. I don't know. I haven't tried it that much because I never saw a great potential for it. So I usually don't take it. You usually just take the inevitable horror and the Bloodstorm Blades. That's what you usually do. Scylla. Scylla is a big glass cannon. He looks great by his stats and stuff, but melee defense kind of lags, and he doesn't do much. He has only explosion that causes rampage, but that's kind of it. He doesn't do anything else. The serpentine tail sucks. It's a mortis engine on 10-meter area, which stinks so bad. Yeah, you never take the mortis engine, or you never take Scylla because of the mortis engine. Crimson Juggernaut is kind of meh. It's not bad, but paying 200 for just Glorious Charge and Charge bonus is just trash. You don't want to be paying that much for just a useless ability that just gives you Glorious Charge. That's no good. Especially on a single entity, dude. And then the Brass Collar is also trash, you never take that one as well. His abilities, all of them are 200, and without them he's cheap, but with them he's super duper expensive. Which is why you usually just never take him. That's it for the heroes, I would say. Not great options, just Karanak and Scarblood Ruff. That's kind of it.
All right, you ready to talk about half of your entire roster?
Oh, heck yeah. This is where it gets fun.
Infantry.
Infantry.
That's all you get.
Yes.
Your DLC is just more melee infantry.
Sadly, yes. But sadly, with those melee infantry, I can do way more stuff than I could before, thankfully. Marauders of Khorne, your cheap infantry. Doesn't do much, has okay stats. Frenzy can be kind of game changer, but that's kind of it. Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons are the same thing, but less melee defense, act more as an infantry cleaner. Just to make sure the bonus against infantry is not high, it's just 5, it's not much. People would say that it's gonna have like 10 melee infantry bonus, but no, it's not that much melee infantry bonus.
Wow, that's pretty trash.
Yeah, it's not much. Khorngors! Newest additions, and some people still say it's OP and strong. Yes, they are not bad, but they're not as OP as you would probably say. Their melee attack from 18 gets raised to 33, which is definitely not bad. It definitely is great. But then the problem with those abilities is you need to make the unit have more than 50% of the leadership, which doesn't last long because its only weakness is a freaking terror and any fast damage dealing units. That's its only problem. If you have a unit that deals fast enough damage to make it drop below 31 leadership, boom, those abilities are gone. And then I had a lot of instances where they routed way before they popped on their Unbreakable, or where they routed while also popping their Unbreakable. So these guys are not trustworthy, and they're great in certain matches where you would expect large, probably ogres. But yeah, don't think like those are my unbreakable infantry that will never break. No, that's never how it goes. They're just supposed to be standing there and hope that they're not gonna rout. Bloodletters of Khorne are great armor-piercing anti-infantry units that deal magical attack, but are super glass cannon. They're not like they're gonna be sitting there and packing punch. No, they're gonna be receiving the punches. While packing punch back. Holy moly. Ugh. Chaos Warriors of Khorne, also not great choice. I don't like him taking them a lot, since you're paying 800 for them. Their stats are not bad, they're very great. But I don't like them because of how slow they are, and you want your armies to be fast as possible. You don't want you to be sitting back, taking free damage. It's not how you want to play as Khorne right now. Forsaken, on the other hand, are awesome. Having so much melee attack, 42, with the combination of frenzy, and weapon strength that is also super high, you can just make very beautiful rush builds with it. I like it especially into Norskins, where they have a lot of fire weaknesses, which I mean melee attack with fire attacks is awesome into Norska these days. And then its only issue is the non-armor piercing.
And
That's
15
kinda
melee
the bug.
defense. I mean,
Help. But they usually kill stuff before it kills them, unless it's a tanky unit, which then is a big problem for them. Chaos Warriors of Khorne with Halberds are a slept-on unit. This unit is slow, but when it reaches its target, it's just standing there and it's destroying them. The anti-large bonus is plus 19, and with the bonus that's Frenzy, you could say that it's gonna have 59 melee attack against large stuff, which is super duper good on these units. For 900 gold, they're super good. But you shouldn't take them into every single matchup, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they're very good at their job. On the other hand, Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual axes are kinda meh. They're not super great. As again, they don't have crazy melee infantry bonus, it's just 5, it's not a lot. So they're just like your Marauders of Khorne, but with a little bit better stats and frenzy on top of it. That's kinda it about them. Now the Regiment of Renown, our first one, the Boots of the Hound. I have tried them a few times, and I feel like they're okay. They're not bad, but they're not good in the same way. They're just your unbreakable berserkers that have okay weapon strength, have frenzy and berserk, which is great, but then they're super squishy. They die fast. That's their biggest issue. You could say that they're like Forsaken, but slower and have less armor, and the armor is the problem for them at least. Skull Reapers, unit that I don't like to bring a lot because you have better choices for that price especially. And its stats are, they look good, but it's not great. For 60 entity size infantry unit, it's not great. It's very trash in my opinion. To make them better, I would give them like 80 entities. That's the only buff that I would probably give them right now. They kind of struggle. You have better choices and you should not take them. The bonus against infantry though is very great. Plus 10, finally. Finally something more than plus 5. Now your Exalted Bloodletters. Finally a ultra specialist infantry killing unit. Oh man, I love those guys. I don't bring them as a lot, but I love them against dwarves. Especially dwarves, and I would say against Empire as well. Against Empire, I don't like to bring them because they're too expensive and they just get focused on. That's their only problem. Because of how expensive they are, they most of the time get focused on and they're just gonna die. They're not your tanky unit, they don't have much of armor. They just die to missiles, which is their big issue. But when they reach their target, which is any other melee infantry, oh man, they shred. Chosen of Khorne. Both variants. I never bring them. They're too expensive for what they do. And they're just tanky unit that just does well, but never does super duper awesome. I've never seen them do great, unless it's a vampire account. But into vampire accounts, you can do so much other stuff that just makes the build better. You want to pay the 1450 or 1300 into something else than into Chosen. Chosen are just not your unit that you want to bring into anything, in my opinion. Hellforged Host, a upgrade version of the Exalted Bullers. Kill units faster, are a little bit more tankier because of the armor buff, and have nothing more. They just kill faster, and that's kinda it. They don't do anything else. Only that their ability now changes, which gives them more melee attack, which is great. It's not bad. I like it. Wrathmongers, the new OP infantry unit. Wrathmongers these days are nearly unkillable, unless you're shooting them with armor-piercing units, or armor-piercing missile infantry. Anything that is armor-piercing just kinda kills them, but then if they get into your infantry, that's where they just... oh man, you're kinda screwed. Your Wrathmongers doesn't want to fight cheap melee infantry. They want to be fighting anything that is expensive because they're grinding. If they would be in the in the cheap melee infantry, they'll be grinding it for too long, and they wouldn't be getting their value. That's their only issue. You want them to be targeting something as expensive as them, nothing like your cheap spearmen or anything else like that. The ORR upgrade is situational. I only like to bring it up because of its magical attacks and flaming attacks, which is great into units that you know gonna be having regeneration or weaknesses to fire. But for example, into Chaos Dwarfs, you would be just bringing the normal version over the Regiment of Renown because it has the fire attacks and the fire resist makes a big difference. The Bloodstorm ability on them, I've never seen like do great. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it even exists. They explode, I guess, but it doesn't feel like they explode correctly, so they just don't kill as fast as the normal Wrathmongers. They kind of kill the same. Now, the Slaughter Guard. I love Slaughter Guard. Slaughter Guard are right now the best anti-large infantry in the game, if I'm correct. They're flammable with the combination of flaming attacks is super duper good. Applying 20% weapon strength to your weapon, yeah, applying 20% weapon strength is great. Also, they are super duper tanky, and they can kill a lot of stuff. I think because of this unit alone, you could single-handedly just kill any Vampire Count build, because there's not much that kills them, and if so, they will kill it first. Also, just to make sure, the unyielding attack assault isn't applied correctly, or I guess it's just getting ignored by vigor, because vigor still will reduce your melee attack for some reason. So the unyielding assault is kind of lying. Now, Missile Cav. Yes, you love to see those. Throwing axes are game changer. Those guys, without these dudes, you would be losing to Nurgle most of the time, because Nurgle just outgrinds you and outheals you most of the time. So you have no idea how to take off these big ass single entities, because you have nothing to shoot them. Throwing axes changes that, and anything that is big and has a large hitbox will suffer from Marauder Horsemen. Also, Marauder Horsemen can be great at kiting heavy cavalry. Very good at doing that because of its armor piercing. Also, if you're getting charged by Cav, very cheap Cav, they can kill them in melee combat because of their frenzy buff, where they have 30 melee attack. So they will fight back and they will hold their ground. They're not bad at holding their ground. And with their bonus against infantry, they can do well into some infantry units. I think they could be great at skirmishing and at grading with open backlines. Artillery and war machines. Oof. The Black Shrine. I used to take it before the DLC, but now I just don't take it. It's kind of bad. It's no good. I only loved it because of the total of Endless Bloodletting, but then I suffered with the cause where I needed the 950 gold elsewhere into the total of Endless Bloodletting. So then you would just take either a Lord with a Blood Throne, or you just wouldn't take the Blood Throne itself. You don't see that often, and I don't like it in any way. It's not great for its price. I don't know, it's a mishmash unit. Skull Cannon. In normal matches, you can take two of them. I used to take two of them. They're not bad. But now with the Regiment of Renown, you never see the normal Skull Cannon, you just see the Hellforge Blower, because having aiming shots that spawns vortexes is super duper OP, and people just hate on it, which I don't blame them. It's strong. It's strong. The only weakness to the RR Skull Cannon is the Khorne player has very bad micro. Because if you don't dodge artillery shots with the Hellforge Blower, it kind of dies. It doesn't have that big of a HP pool, and if it gets shot by anything, it will die. It's not great of a melee fighting tool as well. Its stats are not bad, but because of its low HP pool and how big it is, it takes damage fast and it dies kind of fast. The Gore Feast doesn't help it. It's only great at getting its value back while chasing routing units where it gets its ammo replenishment and the Gore Feast, so it kind of heals up, and then it keeps shooting. But I wouldn't say it's a must pick into every faction. Some people say it, but I don't. I don't take it into every single faction because I feel like I could spend the 1600 into a different unit that will probably make the game different and will win me the game, which in certain cases would be the Wrathmongers. Overall, the Hellforge Blower is great unit, but you shouldn't be taking it all the time. Ooh. Chaos Chariots of Khorne are trash. Are trash. I don't like them. I never liked them. They don't do much. They're just trash. I don't know. It's probably because of their mass, where they have 1500 and you have then the upgraded version of it, which are the Gore Beasts. Gore Beasts are awesome. They're great into dwarfs, and they're great into a heavily armored infantry-based armies. I would say either also Chaos Dwarfs could be great. Oof, their mass 2000 and charge bonus of 88 if you count in the frenzy. It's not bad. It's very great. I love Gorby's chariots. Chaos Knights, both variants with lances. They are okay. They're tanky cavalry unit that doesn't die instantly like the Skull Crushers or Blood Crushers do. So they just gonna go and tank it. They're great into anything else that is cheaper than them. They kill it fast. With the frenzy buff, they have 52 million attack, which is also very brutal. I wouldn't say that they're trash. They're okay. They're very okay. Blood Crushers, I kind of never take them. I never see a good potential for them because there are better choices for their price. 1500 is a lot for an anti-infantry heavy juggernaut cavalry unit. I think you have just straight up better choices. The Heralds of the Khorne's Fury. I haven't experimented with them much, but I would say that they're the same as the normal Blood Crushers. The only difference is that they have flaming attacks and the fire weakness, which you could possibly combine with the Slaughter Guard and applying a total of 40% weakness to fire, which could be awesome into certain matchups, but I've never used it because then the combination is super expensive. Skull Crushers still feel kinda meh, even with their recent buffs. They are not very useful. I have seen them do great into certain like fights, but I don't know. I just don't feel like they're doing it most of the time, and then you have a unit that is nearly as fast. Well, not nearly as fast. It's kind of slower, cheaper, and is the best anti-large tool you have in the roster, which are the Minders of Khorne, which are very awesome. Then the Knights of the Brazen Throne, they are not bad as the normal Skull Crushers, only because of the Murderous Charge. So if they charge any infantry unit, they insta-kill it. And that's why they are so good. That's why I like Knights of the Brazen Throne. Also, they're called the coolest unit on the roster. And I know why. Their colorations, it's so great. I love it as well. And then it's also cavalry that causes terror. So it can be great into weak leadership based armies. Maybe Bretonia. Not sure about that one. But I would say they wouldn't be bad into Bretonia. Since Bretonia sometimes do usually bring a lot of infantry into, even though they know you have a Hellforge Blower. So I guess you could bring the Knights of the Brazen Throne for that. Also, they do great in fighting with other infantry. Now with monsters and beasts, the best section you have probably right here. Warhounds of Khorne are super awesome. They are glass cannon. You don't want them to get charged by cav, but if there's light armor cavalry just standing there, you want to flank them with the Chaos Warhounds, and the Chaos Warhounds just eat them. Only because of their frenzy buff, they're getting 36 melee attack, and they eat things so fast that it's unbelievable. They are very great. Also, for their price, they're also great at chasing routing units or anything else that is just low armor. Chaos Furies of Khorne, I like them into certain matchups. They're not bad. I would still rather take a Warhound because you get situations where you can get free charges, and the Warhounds do it better than the Chaos Furies, only because of them having more entities and 36 melee attack, which is the only thing that makes them kind of better than the Chaos Furies. Fleshhounds of Khorne are kind of meh. They're not super duper great or super duper bad. They're only great because of them being large entity, so they can be used as a body. Just a unit that goes behind enemy calf, charges them from behind, and then the enemy calf can't just run away because the fleshhound unit is a large entity sized unit. So that means you wouldn't be running away because it's not an infantry sized warhound that lets it just pass away. Which is a very great thing about the fleshhounds, and that's the only good usage for them. Oof. Hounds of the Bloodhound are the same thing, but immune to contact effects, which is not game changing. And has Gore Feast. Gore Feast can be great, especially when they just chase routing units so they can heal up, and then you could use them for more activities. That's where I like them. But overall, I would say that they're too expensive for what they do. I don't like it to bring into any single matchup so far. I would just instead rather bring Chaos Warhound or Chaos Fury. Spawn of Khorne is not good. It's not good. With the addition of Blood Beast, you have just 50 gold more expensive unit that is faster, acts like an armor piercing Minotaur but without the bonuses against anything. And yeah, just about the spawn of Khorne, there's nothing really to talk about. It's just an unbreakable spawn that doesn't do anything. That's how bad it is, and yeah, I'm kind of sad about it. It should receive something else. I don't know. Oh, Blood Beasts, like I've talked about, I would say that they're like Minotaurs without the bonuses in either infantry or anti-large. They are fast. They hit great against anything. They're overall a universal unit for their price. Yep, I think they're very good. You can probably take like 4. You can make a very rush-based build. They're not bad. You can take them. Chaos Version of Khorne is trash. You never take it. The Giver of Furious Glory is never truly useful. Favor of the Ruinous One's powers also never truly useful. There are really like no matchups where you could use it. I don't know. The Warshrine just sucks. It's no good. The only game where you could possibly say it is Slaanesh with a very specific build, but then we don't want to probably talk about very specific builds, so yep. The Chaos Warshrine is just super duper bad, and you should never take it. Now the game changers. Minotaurs of Khorne, both variants. Both variants are great, they're not bad. The anti-large Minotaurs kill things super duper fast. They kill it way too well, and when there's a big entity or very large sized entity in it, you will regret that you charge it because it just packs a punch. The only way to deal with them is just surround them with just cheap infantry and hope they will die. Their weakness is taking a lot of leadership penalties at once, which is how you kill them. But then if you have them surrounded by your own infantry, that's where they shine. It's also great to leave your Minotaurs inside your own infantry units, just because they will be taking less damage and they will be dealing more damage back, which is another reason why I like them so much. The dual weapon variant, you will just use them against factions that you know will have mostly infantry and not large. You usually just bring the anti-large because the anti-large bonus plus 25 is very good. Soul Grinder of Khorne. For its price, it's very weak. It doesn't do anything. Even for dueling standards, it's weak for its price. You never take it. You never take it. It's missile. Since it's not controllable, it's also very weak. It doesn't do anything. I don't know. The Soul Grinder is never. It's the same problem as the Chaos War Shrine. You never use it, and it never does well. That's a problem with the Soul Grinder. I think the only way to fix this unit is making him control where he shoots. That's the only thing you need. Now on to the Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster is not great. For the anti-large bonus, I guess it's not bad, but then it has still its animation issues where it just doesn't land hits. And then having access to Miners of Khorne with great weapons, they are cheaper by 650 and do the job way better. It's just a better pick than the normal Bloodthirster. The normal Bloodthirster doesn't have any uses at all. I rarely use it. I most of the time just never use it. I never see a good potential for it. Unless with the new meta, you could just take it into double star, but that's it. It's not good into anything. Oh, Slaughter Brood. Also trash unit. It doesn't do much. Its HP pool is okay. It's not bad, nearly 10,000, that's great. But I think it's because of its animations where it just doesn't do anything. It's not great at dueling, and it's not great at even killing infantry. For its price, it doesn't do much. I would just not bring it anywhere. I don't know. You can probably make a good build with it, but otherwise it doesn't do anything. Otherwise, being just unstoppably unbreakable until your lord dies. But that's it. It's not a good unit. Khorne's Bloody Fist. Same problem as with the normal Bloodthirster. It just lacks the great targets, where you have just cheaper unit that does the same job but better. The Gore Shell is not bad, 10% ward save. Like I've said, it can be great into builds where you know they're gonna be bringing a lot of big single entities like the double star or something like that, but that's it. It's not good. I don't like it. I would just say don't bring any of the Bloodthirster units, just the Lords. And the last unit, the Bloodbird Behemoth. Oh, it's kind of okay. I think it's way too expensive for what it does, but it's kind of understandable for its stats and for having strengthened from flesh, which is a passive heal. Not bad, yeah. But otherwise, with the recent meta where there's a lot of infantry that shoots or just Skirmcav, it's never good. I don't like it that much. Yeah. About the monsters, you just bring monsters infantry, warhounds, furies. That's you never bring any of the big, expensive single entities.
Okay. So that's all the units. To wrap up the video, we'll do 2 theoretical builds. So let's say you're fighting Vampire Coast. What would you bring?
Vampire Coast. This is the only faction where you are supposed to do wide, where you're supposed to go wide. Like, Marauder spam with the Khorne guards can be great, especially against the crabs. You need Khorne guards against the crabs because crabs were the only problem for Khorne these days. Also, just the zombie decans, it just lasted and standing there for a long time was also a big problem. Now the Khorne guards just solve at least one of the problems. And then what you could bring is Forsaken. Forsaken deal well with deckhands. Having that high weapon strength that it isn't armor piercing does great into deckhands and does great even into backline. What Vampire Coast can do to counter this is double big crap, which you usually don't see that often. And if so, you could probably just bring in double Minotaurs, but then you would need to have them at safe place and make him come in when there's no gunner line left. Otherwise, as for the Lord choice, I like either Valkia because she's hard to kill, but then if they're gonna be bringing any duelist lord, which in this case would be most likely Luthor Harkon, you don't want your Valkia to be fighting Luthor Harkon at any case. Otherwise, I like Skulltaker on foot. Being hard to shoot provides great buffs, also has a great debuff, and then is super duper cheap. So this is probably what I would do. Super wide build with double big crap insurance, and you just swarm them. And hope that they don't have like some huge anti-infantry clearing army.
Gotcha. Let's see. So Vampire Coast's defensive wide faction. What would you do against Slaanesh? A little more mobile, less armor.
And Slaanesh, I have my own special build that I probably won't share. But Slaanesh's biggest weakness is single entities. So in this case, you could take the Bloodbrew Behemoth, you could take Scarbrand, or you could, instead of Scarbrand, take the Exalted Bloodthirster. But then the problem with the Exalted Bloodthirster would be a Pavane, which, you know, Pavane is a must-take into Slaanesh. So in this case, I would say that better is Scarbrand, having the Rage embodied, taking them into your own troops, and Karnak, just in case they will bring like Nekari or any big ass lord that is easy to snipe. Karnak will just silence him. He will stand in place. Garbrand and Bloodbrood comes in and destroys the lord, which is what you do most of the time. You want to go for the lord snipe. Then what you could do is bring a lot of Khorngors, play defensively, and then some Moby, maybe Marauder Horsemen. Or maybe you could go even with the Warhounds. Warhounds are great. If his micro is bad, you could probably see a Seeker standing on a place, and then if the Warhounds get a free charge on the Seekers, they will get their value back super fast. They're not bad at doing that. Otherwise, what you could do is super defensive build with Minotaurs and Khorngors. And then some SE spam.
Slaanesh really hates those single entities.
Yes.
Hard time killing them.
Yep.
Alright.
The only problem to our single entities are the javelins. That's it.
Well, we have a tournament in 55 minutes that I have to go get ready for. So thank you for your time today, sir. Appreciate
No
you.
problem.
Anything, I don't think you create content, but anything you want to shout out on the way out?
No, I don't have anything to shout out.
Okay. There's your Khorne guide, everyone. I know you've been asking for it. This, Slaanesh, and Norska are definitely the three that people keep bothering me about. And Slaanesh is already out, so I don't know why you're bothering me. Just go check the damn playlist. That was, like, I think the 5th one we put out. I don't know. Alright. Bye-bye.
Nobody knows.
Subscribe, yes.